we're going to do is we're going to provide an outstanding service that's probably better than everybody else because we become specialists in our field. What you may have discovered on your own is that when you've found something that works, when you double down on that thing and go that little bit narrower, positive outcomes seem to happen. A lot of people will talk about the idea of having a narrow audience, but not everyone talks about the idea of having a narrow offer too. So what does your business look like if you've got a broad offer as well as a broad audience? That there is when you are a Jack or Jill of all trades and a master of none. I have people that meet at networking events all the time and I say, what do you do? And they say, I run a marketing agency. Or they might say, I'm a leadership trainer. Or they might say, I'm a lawyer. They might say, I'm a web developer. And they think that what they're doing is narrow. In this particular corner, what we're really doing is we're saying, I have bespoke solutions for everyone. I have bespoke solutions for everyone. And the reality is when most people get started, that's where they begin. I do bespoke solutions for everyone, which means that every client is different. Every product that I sell is going to be slightly different. This is where most people start. They don't have clarity about what it is that they're going to be doing, and they don't have clarity about who they're doing it for. So if you're doing bespoke for everyone, the only way that you're going to really get ahead is if you charge by the hour or you have some sort of retainer model. And the reason why you have to do this is because most of the time you don't know how long something is going to take. So what you're doing is you're minimizing your own risk by saying, we're going to charge by the hour and we're going to keep working those hours until it gets done. Or I'm going to put you on a retainer and you're going to pay a monthly fee until that's done. And what you're doing is you're minimizing the risk for yourself. However, who are you not minimizing the risk for? If you're in the bottom left, who are you not minimizing the risk for? You're making it easy for you, but you're making it a little bit intimidating for them. What happens if I have a narrow offer for a broad audience? Well, if I'm on the left and it says bespoke and I'm doing it for everyone, I might be, I don't know, I could be a marketing agency, a generalist marketing agency that works for everyone, or I could be a marketing agency that focuses on doing podcasts. And that could be my area of expertise. I met a woman yesterday, and Angela, and I said, what do you do? And she said, I'm a business coach. And I go, terrific. What are you coaching? And she said, oh, growth solutions. Man, that is just so broad. That's just so big. I said, what do you do when someone comes into your world? What's the first thing that you help them with? And she says, organic leads. So that there is a much narrower offer. Marketing agency, business consultant with growth solutions, or organic leads. That there is a narrow offer. If I'm on the right here, it might be AI-powered solutions for everyone. So on the left, we have bespoke everyone. And then on the right, in this instance, we have AI-powered for everyone. Now, I say that because I know that we've got an AI consultant on the call. Hello, Sean. And again, if we're down here, it's going to be tricky to do the pricing piece. But what we can do is we can charge by the project. Now, the problem with these two ones down the bottom is that if we are servicing everyone, it's extremely difficult to find everyone. It's difficult to come up with language that's naturally going to attract the right type of people. So what ends up happening is we might need to charge a little bit more, and that is because our marketing is inefficient. The more inefficient your marketing is, the more time you have to put into marketing and sales, and you've got to recoup that money somehow. And who ends up paying for your inefficient sales and marketing? The client. The client ends up paying for your inefficient sales and marketing. Let's jump to the top left-hand corner. What if we have a broad offer and a narrow audience? Well, here, once again, we have bespoke solutions, but then we might have a very specific target audience. So let's say bespoke solutions for sales teams or sales directors. Now, what's cool about this is that suddenly our marketing just gets that little bit cheaper. And our marketing gets that little bit cheaper because we know who we're speaking to. We know how to find the sales teams. We know how to speak their language, and we dive into their world. But once again, we're stuck charging by the hour, or more likely in this particular instance, retainer. And that is because it's a broad offer and we don't know how long it's going to take. Once again, a retainer is great for you. We all love monthly recurring revenue. But however, for the client, it's not that great because they're thinking, when the heck is this going to end? So if we can have a narrow audience, we can find our people cheaper. The broad offer, if it's too broad, the sales cycle is going to take a really long time. And that's because every offer is different. If every offer is different, the sales cycle is always going to take a little bit longer because every single proposal is going to be different. It's all going to be a little bit bespoke. Where do you think I'm heading, guys and gals? Since the topic is called Double Down Consulting, and I call this the B2B Niche Navigator. What does your world look like if you've got a clear target audience and you have a narrow offer? Well, the interesting thing is if we look at the different options here and we look at top left where we have bespoke sales teams, or we have down the bottom AI for everyone. What happens when you take the narrow offer and you combine it with the narrow audience? Well, you might say, well, I've been doing AI and I like sales teams. Let's pull them together. What are the things in particular, the headaches, the obstacles, the aspirations and desires that particular target audience is going to want from me? So we go, here's our target audience. Here's our narrow offer. How do we pull them together? If I'm a sales team, how would I want to be using AI? Now, I could go in the top right and I could say AI for sales teams, or I could go one step deeper and I say, we help sales teams use AI to get more leads, educate clients faster, build trust. And then suddenly the messaging changes. It gets very, very specific. And we end up with a specific audience. And if we have a very specific audience and we have a very specific promise that we can deliver, we can start to pull together a very specific package. And that is because all your target audience will largely be the same. So you can speak the same language, which means finding those customers is going to be cheaper. And the offer is also going to be largely the same. And if the offer is largely the same and the audience is the same, we can package it up into something that we can repeat again and again and again. Now, why is this double down consulting? Because I'm sure that you guys and gals are not in the bottom left-hand corner. I'm pretty darn confident that very few of you will be down the bottom left. You're not going to be down here. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't have made it into our world. Busting your head against the hustle ceiling, working really, really hard to find those clients and get them across the line. But I am confident that a bunch of you guys and gals will be really great at one thing. And I'm going to ask you right now, what is that one thing that you are great at? I also know that some people are really good at serving one particular audience. And we often start in one of these places. We often start at being really great at one thing, or we start with something broad where we're servicing one specific audience. What's also really good about this is that because we're providing the same set of solutions again and again and again, we can charge more for doing less. Now, we're not going to be unethical when it comes to this idea of charging more for doing less. What we're going to do is we're going to provide an outstanding service that's probably better than everybody else because we become specialists in our field. We begin to naturally attract more of the right audience. It becomes easier to close those clients, and we can indeed charge more while delivering a better quality solution.